Good afternoon. It is Saturday at 8 o'clock. Welcome to another episode of the DSP. Like always, I'm your host, Josh. Really don't have too many announcements tonight. I've been excited for this episode for the past couple weeks since I got this guest lined up. So I've been extremely excited about this guest. I've been pumped up. Many of you will recognize him from his coaching on YouTube, Overthrow Disc Golf. Phenomenal coach. I've watched a ton of his videos. His videos have helped me improve my game tremendously. It's helped me through some backhand issues that I've been having. Still not 100% there, but we're getting better. So I'm excited, and we seen him at, I think it was only 1 or 2 episodes in The Imposter. I was hoping that he'd be on there longer, but hey, it's okay. So let's see if we can bring on tonight's guest. Hit the button. Now we'll wait for him to get synced in and brought in. Here we are. Good afternoon, Josh. How we doing?
Good, brother. How are you?
Doing very, very good. I'm so excited to have you on. Like, you're one of my top coaches I watch on YouTube all the time. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So let's dive into this. When did you start disc golf, and what actually made you pick up a disc for the first time?
Let's see. I started must have been like 2012, probably. I was traveling with a guy by the name of Matt Papa, he and his band, and every city that they went to, they found a disc golf course and played it. So I was kind of interning with them for that summer, and yeah, so they handed me a disc. It was a DX Birdie was my first disc, and I got to playing. So then I got hooked pretty hardcore.
Yeah, that's really cool. So in high school, did you play a little bit in high school, or were there other sports that you were into during high school?
High school, I played tennis, lots and lots of tennis. I mean, in the early years of high school, I did cross country in soccer, and then yeah, when I came stateside, uh, soccer and tennis were the same season, so you couldn't play both. So I stuck with tennis.
Oh, okay, cool. So you said stateside. Were you out of the States, or?
Yeah, I grew up overseas mostly.
Oh,
So yeah,
that's really.
stateside I was in Germany.
Oh, that is so cool. I did not know
Yeah.
that. So that's really cool. So how did you get into like disc golf in the college? Because I remember on Imposter, Hunter said that you played disc golf with him in college. So how did you get into disc golf in college, and what was that like?
Yeah, well, I mean, I had just played again when I found disc golf. I was in college, so it was probably my sophomore year of college that I started playing disc golf. So I was just looking for disc golf courses everywhere, and come to find out the campus had a disc golf course. So yeah, started playing. Saw a bunch of the guys in the collegiate team. The first like year or so that I played, maybe even the first like 2 years, I didn't even touch the first year and a half. I guess I didn't touch the collegiate team, but I was there. I mean, the guys were practicing, and I was like lapping them in practice. It's just like I'd get out and just go, and they're like, "You should join the team." It's like, I don't know. It's like $200. It's kind of expensive, but yeah. Eventually ended up joining the team, and yeah, when Hunter got into it early, he and I were playing basically daily together. So, and then yeah, it's like I finally signed up for the collegiate team or tried out, I should say, and then yeah, that was a lot of fun. Wish I had done it sooner, actually.
Yeah. So was it pretty competitive? Like, did you guys have a lot of different colleges to play against, or was it just 1 or 2 tournaments here or there?
Yeah, I think there was. Um, I think there were when I first started going to nationals. I think there were like over 50 teams,
Ooh.
so it was almost every state had at least one team that was sent. Um, and then some states had multiple. So now I think it probably is every state.
Yeah,
At least
I would.
continental US, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would imagine it's probably grown a ton just based on like what Hunter has said about it since like he played.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be shocked if we didn't have one. I would be more shocked if we didn't have one in from every state than if like Alaska sent a team. So,
Yeah. So since then, has your competitive career like kept going, or did you kind of change more your focus onto the coaching side of disc golf?
mm, yeah, so I played tennis in high school, and then that went all the way up in like even the early like years of college. I played some like low level, like some like club, like intramural and stuff, tennis. And then when I found disc golf, it like flip flopped. I stopped playing tennis, started playing disc golf, played pretty hardcore for like 4 or 5 years, um, and then I went and got a job in tennis and stopped playing disc golf, and then went back to now I'm back in disc golf, and I'm basically done with tennis. So I'll coach a little bit here and there. I still string rackets and stuff, but yeah.
That's pretty cool. So, what like when did you start up Overthrow disc golf, and like what made you kind of like where did the name come from, and how did you get that started?
Mm, yeah, the so we started in like 2021. I think our first video was January 7th of 2021. I think it was 2021. We're like 4 years in, so that makes sense numbers wise to me. But yeah, I know the first video was January 7th of whatever year that was, either 21 or 22. Um, and then the name, uh, I'm not always in like a great headspace, so I have to really quell this desire to be like, oh, everybody's, I have this thing where I'm like, oh, nobody's doing this good, everybody's crap, and it's not true. Um, so my brain started going down some really like I can't remember the other options, but they were all kind of had some like negative connotations, like uproot disc golf or something. Uh, so it was, yeah, it was just like, well, we're gonna flip this kind of coaching thing on its head. Was where my mindset was at. So now I don't know if I necessarily want to flip it on its head. I've calmed down a little bit, but yeah, I just went through a couple things, and then I'm really a fan of like double entendres. So overthrow having obvious double meaning there is kind of a winner for me.
Yeah, definitely. So with the coaching, do you find it easier to like coach in person, or is it more so like your focus is to get the videos out on YouTube so as many amateurs can learn as much as possible?
Yeah, in person is way better. Like I just got back from a trip from Utah, and I had spent a week in Florida, just a little bit prior to that. So, but in person, you can get so much done so quickly. It's just wild the amount that I can get done and just take someone's arm and go like, just do this, and like shove their arm through the position. And they're like, oh, got it. That's different. Got it. So in person is always, 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 always better. The YouTube, from a business standpoint, is our marketing funnel, right? So if we're going to survive, I do need lessons to make money. So not going to get around that. Um, so yeah, YouTube in that sense it's a marketing funnel. It's a way for me to get content out there for free for guys who maybe don't have the budget for content. I know it's kind of lesser than it's way less than optimal. And it's not like I can build. It's not like I can build, for example, you specifically and say like, okay, what video does Josh need next? Okay, well, let me make that one. I have to kind of take my whole audience and say, okay, what am I seeing a lot of in my private lessons, and what are people still confused about? What do people need? to improve their game. So my private lessons then feed. So the YouTube feeds into private lessons, and
Hmm.
the private lessons feed back into YouTube because when I have to tell 10 different people one week, yeah, it's not this. You need to do this. When I do something like that 10 times, it's like, okay, I should probably write that down, and you guys are going to see a video about it. So it's the YouTube content serves us in the way that it's marketing, but also it's a way for us to serve the greater audience out there in terms of education. So,
Yeah. So like since I'm obviously on the amateur side, so what I've noticed with a lot of like backhand form, like around here, is like there's a huge debate on the whole reach back concept or the push out and pull in concept.
mm,
And then there's a huge debate of plant your brace foot, then throw, and then and then people try and pull through before the brace because it apparently gives more power, more spin. So where do you stand
if
on
you
all
pull
that?
before the brace, they're saying it gives more power for
Yes.
spin. Yeah, I just don't understand that. I just don't know where that perspective is grounded. Pun very intended.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. You need to set up a base, and it's enough for me to look at the distance pros. And sometimes people ask, like, why are we only looking at distance comp stuff? But that's where we see form in its most efficient state. It's always easy to scale down from super efficient, and it's tough to scale up from inefficient. So I will look at that. But in a distance comp, you're not going to see anybody who's anywhere near qualifying for the finals uh, throwing before their plant is down. So that just seems like maybe
Yeah.
people haven't done the research.
Yeah. 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 When I heard that, I was like, that doesn't make sense. Like, I'm not a good backhand guy because I'm forehand dominant. And even
Mm.
I know that foot has to be down before you try attempt to come through.
Yeah, and an easy way to like test and see if it's a good thing or not is just try to throw, and just try to throw from. And I don't know how you're gonna have to tell me how much of this you can see. This is why I did this in the office because I tend to move during interviews and
Oh, I like, yeah. I,
conversations. So can you see everything here, or are you only seeing like up to my knees?
I can see up to your knees.
Okay, okay. I'll move back.
All right.
So
Now I can see everything.
yeah, I'm in my flip flops. Um, so real easy way to kind of figure that out is go ahead and try to throw just standing on your back leg and see how far you can throw and say, okay, is that what I want there? Because essentially that's what you're trying to do. If you pull down before this foot is down, right? If we say foot's got to be down, well then just throw from your front leg and see how much further or not you can throw. I mean, prove me wrong, but
Yeah.
that's kind of an easy litmus test
Yeah.
to okay, is there any merit in this?
What does that mean? Like, what do you mean by merit?
Like to the claim of you want to start pulling through before that foot's down.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. But like
Yeah.
I've heard it and I've seen people do it, and I'm like, I don't understand why. Like I don't understand where that disconnect of information comes from.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen people do it, but they're not wanting to do it most of the time. They're not like, this is a good thing for me to throw before I'm planted. Right. So if someone's claiming that that's a good thing, I don't get it. And I don't see a single pro in the distance comp doing it. But if you're just doing it because your form sucks, well,
Yeah,
that that's a totally different thing. If
yeah,
I want my form to be better too. So
yeah. I want my form to be as simple and as efficient as possible because that's where I'm struggling now. Is like it's all over the place. So it is what it
yeah,
is. So it's like I don't know. Like I was telling a couple of my buddies, it'd be nice on backhand holes to not just survive it and wait for the forehands to attack it. I would like to eventually get to the point where the backhand is a good form where I can actually attack the holes and then not have to wait for the forehand holes.
well,
So I got to work on that.
well, I might challenge you a little bit on that, just from a coaching perspective. So you're probably if you're forehand dominant
Hmm.
and you got a good forehand, you're probably never going to be more confident in your backhand than your forehand unless you stop practicing your forehand, which would be a huge mistake.
Yeah.
You want to practice your strengths and keep gunning after your strengths. And your backhand at that point is kind of like your jab in boxing, right? And your forehand's your right hook. So on holes where you can use your forehand, those are holes, since it's your strength, that you can potentially get more aggressive, right?
Yeah.
And then backhand, the only time maybe that you should really be aggressive is if you're using like a stable or overstable disc on a hyzer to a big landing zone. If you're like, okay, I'm going to try to bite off a little bit here on my backhand, usually I don't try to throw it, this hard. I like placement, but it's a huge landing zone. It's a hyzer, and I get to use this, destroyer or something overstable. Then, oh, you're a trilogy guy, right?
Yes.
So I get to use this. I get to use this raider, and it's gonna, dump.
Yeah.
So then you go for it, right? But you pick your battles there, and you're not trying to knock the guy out, right, with your jab, with your backhand. You're waiting for that hook. So I would encourage you maybe to be patient and wait for that. Other guys are gonna get the backhand holes, and then they need to bide their time on the forehand holes. So
Okay. Yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah, you don't have to get everything that these guys that are throwing backhands get. You don't have to keep up on the strengths, on someone else's strength with your weakness. Um, you just have to get the holes that are, associated with your strength.
Yeah. That's actually a pretty good idea. Like I never thought of that. Like during tournaments, it's like, oh man, we're going down the stretch of tunnel shots where it's like I have to backhand, and it's like, oh my gosh, and these guys are like just backhanding like crazy. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, why not throw your forehand? Like for you, if you're forehand dominant, anything that goes right, you should throw forehand. Anything that goes straight, you should throw forehand. And then anything that goes definitively left, okay, now
Yeah.
backhand.
So
Right? So on tunnel holes, I mean, it's even better to have a forehand because you get to eye the gap the whole time. So that's a strength there.
yeah.
So don't turn a tunnel shot, which is already hard. Don't try to attack that with your weakness. Attack it with your strength.
Yeah. Like because I'm a flex forehand guy, so most tunnel shots I look for an opening to punch out and then have it come back in towards the end.
Mm,
The hyzer flip, I'm still working on that with the
yeah.
forehand. It's hard to not put so much arm into it.
Mm.
So I got a lot of off axis torque.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even guys on tour that are throwing predominantly backhands, there are a lot of guys that I've seen that don't have like a straight, like a hyzer flip to straight backhand. There's still a lot of guys that are going to take something like their Athena and they're going to put it over on slight and hyzer and do this baby flex, right? So there's no reason. Like I've got a pretty decent forehand. If I didn't have a hyzer flip forehand, I'd still find something that's like maybe my ring cookie or something like that that's got a little understability to it and still go mostly straight. So you don't have to have a hyzer flip to attack that kind of hole. But yeah, you
Yeah.
can still do it, I think.
So speaking of discs, what's in your bag? Is it like a mix, or are you kind of more on the MVP side, or?
Mm, yeah. Well, we had a Clash sponsorship
Ooh,
for the season last year, so I've still got a lot of Clash in my bag. I've got like a glitch, popcorn, fudge, and then I've got a peach, couple cherries, and then drivers right now. I'm going into like infinite drivers, so I haven't thrown them yet. But in the other room, I've got a stack of five, like conquerors, emperors, pharaohs that I'm going to try out.
nice. So what disc are you leaning on the most right now? Like if you were to go out for like a tournament round, what disc would you be the one that, oh, I can throw this one perfectly every time?
Oh, I don't know that I have one of those, honestly. Um, what disc can I throw perfectly every time? I mean, if we're talking about off the tee, I'm gonna take something. I just lost like a bunch of discs when I was doing stuff in Florida because I just like will grab stuff from my bag, I'll demo, and then I won't remember where I threw it during the lesson, and they're paying me good money to be there, so I'll just like leave it. I'm like, I'll pick it up later, and then it's like I don't know where that thing went. So I'm gonna lean on plastic that's a bit more overstable. So the last time I did play, we went to check out this new course in town, and I took um, two putters and a cookie with me. That was it.
Wow.
So slightly understable cookie. I enjoy doing that kind of pared down rounds, but yeah, I mean cookies, nice disc. So maybe that one.
Yeah.
But I'm
Um,
not super attached to anything in my bag. Like if it isn't working, I'll just kick it out.
yeah, I'm hooked on my Saki Bomb Felons. That's my go-to for my
Mm,
forehand. That's like, if there's a forehand, that's what I'm grabbing. That, or if I need a little bit more distance, I'll grab the general.
mm. Okay, so you are throwing the general. Yeah,
Yes.
sick. I mean,
Yeah.
top forehand guy, right? Anheuser forehand guy makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. My forehand is a very interesting form. A lot of people say it's like I look like I'm swinging a baseball bat. So it's like, oh, okay. So
Not a bad thing. I mean, the setup's pretty similar. So
yeah. So do you have any clinics coming up? And if you do, whereabouts are your clinics going to be?
I don't have any clinics, and what I've kind of discovered is that maybe clinics aren't the best thing on the road, anyways. So I'm doing a lot of
Mhm.
one-on-ones when I'm traveling now. The last so in Florida, I think I did like one clinic, and then the rest were just private lessons. And then in Utah, it was all private lessons. So just seems like better value for people. The one-on-one environment is just better than a group lesson that may or may not hit on your individual needs. So I make less money that way, but it's a better product and it's better for the student. So we're gonna run with that. I don't have anything set up currently. I'm eyeballing a couple places, eyeballing some places in Ohio. So looking at Ohio, maybe Maryland, and then my wife really wants to go to Portland. So if there's anybody out in Portland watching this, and you're hooked up with like the local club or you've got good rapport in your community and you want to help me liaison and set that up, I'm totally down. It would need to be the week of the European Disc Golf Festival because my mom has my kids that week. So
Oh, nice.
so we're gonna get to spend some time, little vacay for me and the wife,
That's
and I'll
cool.
tack some work onto it.
Have you ever came up to Buffalo area and done disc golf? And if you haven't, is there any plans to eventually get up here?
I haven't. Where's that place that Paul put in that course in New York?
Um, I'm not really sure.
Is it like Albany or something? Maybe.
It might have been. I'm
Yeah.
not too sure. Maybe somebody in the chat knows.
Yeah. Somebody was asking me about going up to New York, so we haven't been yet. But I'll go anywhere. I enjoy traveling. Uh, I really enjoy traveling. I enjoy teaching in-person lessons. And it's honestly it's good money too. I can do a lot of teaching very quickly. Um, so it's kind of a win for everybody. So I'm down. If anybody's watching and they're like, "Come here," we know people would sign up.
Yeah, that's
I'm
definitely
in.
the Buffalo area. Like we literally are a hidden gem. Like the more people I talk to out of state where they have to travel for courses like an hour plus, I'm like, dude, I have like 20 courses within 30 minutes of my house.
Mm,
Like there's Bond Lake, there's Joseph Davis, there's Como Park, like
yeah,
Royalton Ravine, and then you go out to Rochester, which is within an hour. You got Shadow Pines, you got Chai Lai.
yeah. I mean that's almost like Charlotte level. 20, 20 courses within 30 minutes. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's not Charlotte level, but it's getting closer. So, okay, Buffalo. I'm down. I'm down, and it's getting nice for you guys. I'm sure.
Yeah, right now we're having kind of an abnormal, kind of rainy and windy
Hmm.
start to the season, but by like June and July it should be dry and warm. So
Yeah, I'm in.
Heck yeah. And then, the next year, the World AMS Championship, World AMS is coming here. So they'll be playing the courses around here for it.
Okay.
So that's definitely going to be really cool. Like, that's the big buzz around here is all of the courses are getting all these updates for the World AMS.
Nice. Yeah. Sounds like a good time.
Yeah. Uh, So, what is like your goals in the disc golf, and like, is it to get your not only get your game better, but is it to grow your coaching to the point where you got multiple coaches under you, and then you're kind of coaching like kind of like a bigger area?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I just finished a script last night for a video where we will be announcing multiple coaches on our
Ooh,
website. So nobody really knows about that yet. So you're welcome. Good timing on the podcast. So yeah, we're gonna have a couple guys. I've been working with a couple guys one on one who already carry a coaching like a private clientele. So we've got me, and then Mikey came on board as a site. I mean, he didn't come on board. He was on board, and he's got a coaching background from tennis. He coached tennis before I coached tennis.
oh wow,
Got me my job at the country club, actually. So then we had Mikey, and we've got Cam on board currently as well. And then we're going to onboard two more coaches. I've been working with them the past couple months. So well, they will slot in, and they'll be our like lower budget options. I don't want it to sound bad, because these guys are awesome, but they're going to be like Mikey and I are obviously pretty high on the price point, and so then we got Cam in the middle, and then these guys are going to be underneath
yeah,
Cam in terms of price point. So yeah, so right now that's what we're doing. I can't spill the beans on everything that we've got in the works, but that announcement will be made fairly soon.
cool.
So yeah, that'll all be on our website. Personal game, I'm growing my personal game just because, not necessarily so that I can play better, but so that I can coach better and teach people to coach better. There's stuff that you learn when you try to improve your game
Hmm.
as a coach, and it's good to be reminded of this is the process that my players are going through. So currently, I'm working on every style putt, just like rapid fire, being able to uh, doing. I mean, I'll go through practice, and it'll be. Sorry, I move around a lot.
You're good.
Easier to show than tell.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask what putt are you most comfortable with, and how do you practice to get better at
Yeah,
putting?
I'm not most comfortable with any of them right now because I'm practicing all of them. So, uh, but yeah, so I'll be, at my practice basket, and I'll go, okay, here we go, Ricky, and then I'll go Matteo, and then I'll try Simon, and then I'll just like keep switching Paul, and just try to fire, 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 um, and just groove all the different ones so that I can teach all the different ones. So my goal is to be. I think a coach needs to be able to demonstrate most, if not all, aspects of the game. Not to the highest level,
Yeah,
but for me personally, my coaching standard is I should be able to demonstrate uh, reasonably well, like spin putts. If someone's on this Anheuser spin putt, I want to be able to demonstrate that. I want to be able to go like, okay, here's what you're going to do. Okay, you've got this spin putt down here, or you've got this push putt here, or you've got this. I want to be able to demonstrate it all. So right now, putting's kind of the one thing that I can't like perfectly demonstrate. Uh, Spin putts, I was just shanking them left and right, as you saw in Imposter, and
yeah.
I was like, I'm committed to this spin putt, and so I was like pushing some stuff in Imposter, but I was so. Anyways, Yeah, so what you saw in Imposter was me in that stage where it's like all I had practiced for the past like 2 weeks was this really like committed spin putt. And so when Gary was like, I need a wind read, it was like,
Yeah.
do I push putt this or do I spin putt this? Because Gary's a spin putter.
Yeah.
And so the best thing I can do is spin putt this, but I've got one gear on spin putt right now, and it's about 50 miles an
Oh,
hour.
wow.
So it's not really 50.
Yeah.
But it was 30 would not have been an exaggeration.
Yeah.
It was like 30 miles an hour. I mean, the putt that I was just trying to, in order to get a spin putt, it had to be confident, and so I was like legit in like this phase basically with my spin putt, like that fast. I mean, just obliterated the basket,
Yeah.
or just completely whiffed. So that's where I was at with putting at that point. Thankfully, I'm kind of past that now, and I can do all of them okay-ish. So, um, yeah, that's how I'm currently practicing putting. But the way that I'm practicing putting and what I'm trying to do is different than almost everybody else out there on putting, most assuredly.
Yeah. Yeah, I switched over last year. I was like a spush putter, like I was in between
Mm-hmm.
both, and then I fully switched over to a spin putt, which helped me tremendously. It just
Mm-hmm.
makes it's a lot easier. It's just a more fluent in motion. It's right to the basket.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, yeah, and I was just talking with one of my students who had a hard time with putting, and he's gotten a lot better at it. And he's like, mimicry is just such a good thing, just to go out and try to copy someone's putt just for fun, um, because you learn so much. I got putting yips real bad at the end of my collegiate disc golf career, so it's not necessarily a great thing for me to try a bunch of different stuff because my body, like at one point I had to teach my hand like to open again because it would not open and release the disc like at all.
oh
So it
wow.
was like ripping. So I'd be 10 feet away and I would miss 10 feet to the right, like no exaggeration,
Yeah.
because my hand just would not open. It's like, so anyways, that's not to, bring a sob story here. But for most people, mimicry is a really, fun thing. And these pros, they can all, I mean, I've been around pros when they're just like trying to imitate their friends and make fun of their friends. And it's a really cool thing to see
Yeah.
how they can move kind of between styles with no huge issues.
Yeah, it's crazy how the pros just make putting look so effortless. And then it's like I step up for like a 20-footer and it's just like, "Oh my god, this is hard."
Yeah. I mean, in the Cascade Challenge, I was just looking and just reminded about um, how, like, even if 10 or 15 feet or whatever it was, probably 15 feet, but like 15 feet, how seriously they're taking their routines and stuff like that. So they do make these long putts look uh super easy compared to us, but also they really respect every length putt, way more than I respect any 15-foot putt that I've taken in the past however many years.
Yeah.
So
So, all right. So my final question for you tonight is a personal one because this is something that I've been struggling with so far this season. My first rounds are absolutely crap. Like
mm,
I'll shoot like way below my rating, and then my second round is always lights out, and I climb all the way back up to like up on the scoreboard. So it's just like, so what could I do to get myself in kind of a better first round, and then kind of play it like I do my second round?
well, first off, that's a super common pattern
Mm-hmm.
of play, right? Super common pattern of play. Awful first round, amazing second round. Probably equally common is amazing first round, lead card, absolute worst round you've ever played your entire life for your second round. So a lot of it's kind of managing expectations and what the goals are associated with each of those rounds, respectively, and what your mindset is into each of those rounds. But um, for people who suffer from the first round being poor, the second round being great, is easy enough to explain, right? If you're on last card, either you shoot lights out and you work your way back up, or you don't, and you're exactly where you're at, right? There's nothing to lose if you're last place or bottom card after the first round. So it's very freeing, right? Your mindset is just, okay, let me just get after it. There's nothing to lose at this point, right? So it's basically, what do you do when there's something to lose, right? And some guys have that great first round because they don't expect to win anyways. They have nothing to lose when they start, and then all of a sudden they're on lead card, and it's like, oh crap, I might be able to win this thing, right? I just gotta hold it. I just gotta stay here, right? And all of a sudden they got something to lose. So I guess I would ask a couple questions. First question would be, uh, what is your pre-round, like your pre-tournament round prep look like? And are we talking about 2 rounds one day, or are we talking about day?
2 rounds one day.
Yeah. Okay. So what is your like pre-tournament?
Pre-tournament, I'll stretch out a little bit with the band, get my shoulder loose because I'm forehand dominant, so I want to make sure my shoulder's ready to go. And then I'll flick a couple approach shots up to the basket. I'll putt a little bit, and then I'll do like 1 or 2 drives, and then that's it.
Yeah. I mean, it could be as simple as you're going in cold, right? And we see this even with guys who, like on the pro tour, when they had to move some of like Music City Open or whatever to the next morning, and the guys got to wake up at the crack of dawn, throw their partial previous round, and then the ladies tee off, and then the guys get back at it again. In the second round, they're on fire. It's like, whoa, what is up with these scores, right? So sometimes just uh, throwing probably more than what most people would think to warm up and getting kind of dialed that day, because your aim changes day to day a little bit.
Yeah.
Not much, but one day you're aiming straight and everything's just boom, laser, 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 laser. Some days it's like you're aiming straight and the first one goes here, and you're like, okay, and then you got to adjust and start moving that sucker left. Or some days you're aiming straight, you do the same thing as you did yesterday, everything the exact same, and yesterday went straight, and today it goes over here. Well, that's just for whatever reason. It could be colder. You could have played earlier in the day, and now your body's a little bit slower, hands a little bit slower. The air is more dense. You didn't get as much sleep as you got the night before. Whatever. There's a million reasons, right? So you got to go out day of and do something before your round that gets your aim kind of locked in, right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't just go into a tennis match and be like, oh, okay, the first like that little 10-minute warm up that happens between the players before the actual match. No professionals going out and only warming up 10 minutes before a match, like just in terms of hitting balls.
Yeah.
So we're not saying like of course they're going to stretch and things like that, but it's like you should play a little bit and kind of grease that wheel a little bit before you start playing day of and get some adjustments made. So it could be as simple as that.
Yeah.
It could be, you just weren't warmed up. It could be maybe mentally that you were tight first round, and you're like, I've got to get in a good place. I have to shoot well,
Yeah.
right, to be in contention here. Maybe you looked at scores that won the same tournament, or you looked at the ratings of the people that you're playing against, and you're like, oh, this guy. What division are you in, by the way?
MA2.
MA2. So you're like, this guy. This guy is a 950 rated player. So I got to shoot at least a 950 rated round, and that means I got to shoot at least this. Right now, you're putting pressure, 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 and I have to do this, have to do this. All of a sudden, you miss a must-make birdie hole. I have to get a birdie here. I have to go. I have to shoot 8 down. Okay, well, I can't get these 10 holes. That means I have to birdie this one. And then all of a sudden, you miss it, and now it's like, well, shoot. Now I definitely have to get the other 7. You missed the next one of the 8 that you needed to get. And now it's just pressure, pressure, pressure. All of a sudden, on the other 10 holes that you didn't even have a real percentage chance of birdieing anyways, you start pushing too hard to make birdies where you shouldn't be. You start using your backhand again to be aggressive in places that you shouldn't be aggressive.
Yeah.
And then you just play even worse. And then all of a sudden you're at the bottom and you just loosen up and you're like, okay, well, second round, I just got to play.
Yeah.
So oftentimes sometimes people don't need to shoot as hot as they think that they need to when you have, two
Mm-hmm.
rounds. So you don't have to, you just have to give yourself your best chance of executing. Stay inside, like get a good warm up, stay inside your pre-shot routines, stay inside your pre-shot routines, stay inside your pre-shot routines, stick to the plan, and then, don't put so much pressure on yourself to perform. Like either it's going to be there that day or it's not. I'm not
Yeah.
saying don't make adjustments. If you miss the first putt low, your second putt better not be low.
Yeah.
It can be high. You can hit band, totally fine, but don't miss the second putt low. Make an adjustment, right? Don't go, okay, first putt on hole one, low. Second putt, low. Hole three, low. Hole four, low. Hole five, low. It's like hole one, low. Hole five, or hole two, high. Low, high, low, high, low. And then eventually back nine, you're just right because you start making
Yeah.
adjustments, right? So we're going to make adjustments as we go through, but sticking to your pre-shot routine and your game plan is your best chance of executing at the level that you want to execute at. It's often not about increasing the ceiling. It's not about shooting a hot round. It's about making sure that your bad rounds, when stuff isn't going well, when your backhand is like really bad and your forehand, that's usually your strength, is a little bit off today. When you start trying to push and make those your best rounds, that's when you start hitting your floor,
Yeah.
and then you're screwed because your rating's going to drop. You're then you're gonna have to play so hot in round two to get back into contention.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed like my first round, like my aim points and my landing zones are way off. I end up in weird spots. It's like, oh, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm never here. And then come round two, it's just like I just hit my landing zones perfectly. I'm like, oh, okay, easy.
Yeah, yeah. Could be warm up. Could be uh, something else. Could be you just like loosening it up. And
Yeah,
yeah, there are things that happen when you get stressed, and it's about an athlete uh, learning to perform. It's about learning what your body does under stress, right?
yeah,
Which is the whole reason I went on imposter. It's like this is going to be an immense amount of stress for me.
yeah,
It's going to be so much like it. I'm glad I went on it, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. But I was under no like illusion that I was gonna. Oh, I'm just gonna be super calm. No, I knew I was gonna be stressed out of my mind. So, but I wanted to be able to. My goal was to go in and be able to adjust. So, hole one, I'm so good at approach shots. Like approach shots, I am better than most people at approach shots. Probably, like if you just took people of my skill level, I would over-index on approach shots. So for me to pull that first approach shot on hole one inside when I had all the space to the right, it's like, whoa, what is
yeah.
that? So, um, so yeah, and then it wasn't until really like I just want until that altercation with Brody, where it was like I was just trying to adjust the whole time,
That was
and
awesome.
yeah, yeah, I was so nervous after that. He's like, throw a good shot and I'll, stop talking. And I thought, well, he's right. So now my heart's up here and I'm like,
Yeah,
I got to throw a good shot. And I've been trying to adjust this whole time. And so I just went into my pre-shot routine and I went, like, the first thought was, okay, I said that, and I'm gonna hit a first available here, and it's like, okay, commit to your routine, commit to your shot, commit to your shot, and then thankfully I threw a pretty good shot. I still hit a tree, but it was almost like a really, really good drive.
yeah,
So I was just happy that I was able to make an adjustment, right? So that's kind of what I think that's what you're going for, which is again why I put myself in that situation because I preach making adjustments, and it's like I need to go under. If I can in this stressful situation make adjustments, if I can do it there, I will understand almost every one of my students that I go through, except for maybe the people at like the top, like the highest level.
yeah,
Even then, I feel like I don't know how much stress they're putting on themselves comparatively, but
yeah.
that was a wild amount.
So do you have any questions for me or anything you want to shout out before we end this?
I don't think I have any questions. Oh, no, I'm happy to talk a little bit more if you want. I don't know how long you usually like to keep these, but I'm good with
Uh,
whatever, man.
the live will cut out in a few minutes because I'm not a certified account,
Ah,
so it only goes about like maybe 50 minutes and it just cuts out.
okay, gotcha. Well, then
So
we're perfect in time then.
yeah, so
No, this has been great. Thanks for having me on.
hey, thanks for
Appreciate
coming
that.
on. Definitely excited. Yeah, when you message back that you're actually interested, like yes, sweet, one of my favorite guys.
Yeah, happy to do it. So
Cool. All right.
I'm happy to be on all the podcasts.
Yeah,
Podcast for you.
I'll definitely get you back on sometime so we can keep
Yeah.
talking.
Or I guess you call
Yeah,
it a show, right?
yeah,
So this isn't a podcast for you. You
yeah.
would say, or it is or not.
It's I call it a show because it's live, and then like
Mhm.
yeah, where I think podcasts are like post produced. I think
Gotcha.
so.
I
I don't
think
know.
they can be both. I mean, yeah, I was just wondering if you made any distinction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just call it a show because it's live. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Sweet. Well, thanks for having me on the show then.
Hey, thanks for coming.
Sweet. All right. Thanks, Josh.
Yep, I'll see ya.
See
Bye.
ya.
All right, cool. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. And I might not have a show next week because next week is the Western New York AMS Championship. It's on 2 days. So it'll be up in there. I'll make an announcement probably like Wednesday or Thursday if there's going to be a show for next week or not. But I'll see you guys next